biological evolution. So, what is biological evolution? So, in this chapter, the evolution is usually by natural selection. Even industrial melanization is also by natural selection. So, remember, industrial melanization is natural selection. Right? In the true sense, would have started when cell forms of life with difference in metabolic capability originated on Earth. So, natural selection, true sense, would have started when cellular forms of life with differences in metabolic capabilities, like some are aerobic, some are anaerobic, some are phototropic, some are chemosynthetic, some are autotropic. The essence of Darwin theory about evolution is natural selection. What he told is regarding natural selection. The rate of appearance of new forms is linked to the life cycle or lifespan. Okay, so how they are linked with life cycle and life forms are life cycle and lifespan is microbes that divide faster and have the ability to multiply and become millions of individuals within hours. So, a colony of bacteria, say A, growing on a given medium has built in variation in terms of ability to utilize the feed component. So, a change in the medium composition would bring out only that part of population, say B. So, that can survive under the new conditions. Okay, you take a bacteria, so which are been surviving, dividing and surviving. Suddenly you change the medium. So, first initially take that first population as A. Suddenly you change that medium. And whoever that got survived, you are categorized into B. In due course of time, this variant population outgrows the other and appears as new species. This whatever is survived, that outgrows the others and form as a new population, means speciation. So this would happen within days. Okay, this will take within days. But the same time that happen in a fish or fowl would take millions of years of life. In bacteria, that would take it within days, but millions of years for fish and fowl. So because as the lifespan is more in years, here we say that fitness of B is better than of fitness of A. Yeah, whatever is survived with the change in medium, that would be far better than the previous one, right? So of natural new conditions. So nature selects for fitness. Whoever fit, only that the nature selects. One must remember that so-called fitness is based on characteristics which are inherited. So whatever the characteristics that are inherited, based on that they will be fit. So hence there must be a genetic basis and getting selected to evolve. Okay, getting selected to evolve. Another way to saying the same thing, that some organisms are better adapted to survive in an otherwise hostile environment. So better adapted to survive in otherwise hostile environment, right? So adaptive ability is inherited. It has a genetic basis. Fitness is the end result of ability to adapt and give selected by the nature. Whatever the nature selects, whoever will adapt, the nature will select them. So branching descendants, whoever was adapted, they only will become as a descendants by the process called natural selection. So branching descendants, and these are the two key concepts of Darwinian theory of evolution. And next, let's talk about before Darwin. French naturalist Lamarck has said that evolution of life forms has occurred, but driven by use and disuse of organs. If they use that organs will develop. If they disuse that organs will become non-functional, vestigial. He gave the examples of giraffes, who is in an attempt to forage the leaves on the tall trees. To forage the leaves of the tall trees, have adapted to elongation of their neck. As they passed on this acquired character of elongated neck to succeeding generations. So giraffes slowly over the years came to acquire long necks. nobody believed this conjecture anymore. So, nobody believed the Lamarckism, use and disuse. Is evolution a process or a result of process? So, if the world we see, inanimate and animate, is only the success story of evolution. When we describe the story of this world, we describe the evolution as a process. On the other hand, when we describe the story of life on earth, so when you describe the story of this world, you will describe the process of evolution. When you describe the story of life on earth, we treat evolution as a consequence of the process called natural selection. We are still not very clear whether to regard evolution and natural selection as process or end result of unknown process. It is possible that the work of Thomas Malthus on population influenced on populations. So the work of Thomas Malthus, actually before Darwinian, the Lamarckism, but the Lamarckism was not accepted by many scientists. Later, the work of Thomas Malthus on populations, that influenced the Darwin. Natural selection is based on certain observations, which is factual. For example, natural resources are limited. Populations are stable in size except for seasonal fluctuations. Members of the population vary in characters. In fact, no two individuals are alike. Even though they look superficially similar, most of the variations are inherited. That fact that theoretically population size will grow exponentially if everyone reproduce maximally. This fact can be seen in growing bacterial population. And the fact that population size in reality are limited means that has been compensation for resources. Only some survived and grew at a cost of others that could not flourish. The novelty and brilliant insight of Darwinian was this. He asserted that variations which was heritable and which make a resource utilization better for few, adapted to habitat better, will enable only those to reproduce and leave more progenies. Hence, for a period of time, over many generations, survivors will leave more progeny and there would be a change in population characteristics and hence new forms will appear to arise. So, this is what told by Darwinian. So, here we have seen regarding the three scientists. First one is Charles Darwin. So, Darwin is regarding branching descendants and natural selection. And natural selection. And second one, Lamarckism. Use and disuse. And Thomas Malthus. Thomas Malthus work on populations. So influenced the Darwin. So he is the one who influenced the Darwin more. So what natural resources are limited and the population size will be stable. Okay, and when the population will increases reproductively, if it leaves more progenies, it has to adapt to that change in environment. All these things. Okay, these are the key points you have to remember for this topic of biological evolution. Okay, so right, how the evolution is progressing. This is what these three scientists have told. Right, thank you.